Hey guys, we are back today for a much needed episode again on the show. However, it is no longer my show. As you can see, I now have a wonderful co host on a completely rebranded show. She goes by Real Leo Rob on Twitch. So, first of all, drop that follow. If you don't, she might track you down. I don't know. Nobody knows. We'll see. Who knows? I don't know. But would you like to take it away from here?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Leah. Also, if you'd like to just call me Leah, you can also call me Rob. This show is going to be a little bit of everything. I feel mainly circled around, Twitch, what we do as streamers, gaming, and that kind of thing. But also tackling some bigger issues like mental health, and that kind of stuff. So a little bit of everything. Definitely going to hit all the bases, but yeah.
I think that's pretty much what we're going to be doing, guys, and it's just such an exciting thing. So we are now completely rebranded from the original show to now we're going to go by the Real Pandeal Show, and it's kind of just a combination of our names and what we stand for. And Leah and I met actually through streaming. I don't even remember how. Do
I
you?
really don't either.
It just
Actually, now
like
that you
it
mention
just
it, I have no
happened.
idea.
I don't.
Um,
I don't.
wow.
I literally have no idea. I don't remember. I'm sure somebody rated somebody,
Somebody
and
rated somebody.
one
Yep.
of us was in it, and it's like, hey, we're now best friends.
Yep.
And it just, the energy, guys. When you meet streamers, you meet all sorts of people, and both both good style people, both just people you just don't jive with necessarily. From the beginning, Leah and I were just there, and I've been looking for a co-host for a long time, as everybody knows, and I decided that I was going to ask Leah if she would be willing to do it, and it was an instant yes. I think. I mean, I don't even think there was hesitation at all, which was
Right. Right.
awesome. But as Leah said, guys, this is gonna go. It's kind of morphing from what we originally started with, and it's going to be more of a show based on anything. So if you guys have a certain topic you want us to cover, please, please, please comment, write to us, let us know, and let us know a topic that you want us to cover, and we'll make it happen. We really don't have boundaries here. We want to push the boundaries. We
Right.
want to be as transparent about everything that goes on in the content creation world. And that kind of brings us actually to what this show is going to be about. So as you know, content creation has just completely exploded, especially during quarantine, or lockdown, whatever the PC term is. I don't freaking know anymore. They keep changing it. But as you know, everybody's a creator. Everybody's a content creator, and I truly believe that it's one of those things that anybody can do. Anybody can be a content creator. Can anybody make it a career? And that's where I draw the line and say no. And what we're going to tackle here is the mental health and the well-being of the people who are in that content creation world. As everybody knows about me, mental health is a huge thing that I am a big supporter of, big proponent of, and I know Leah is as well. And if you want to speak on that a little bit, Leah, just kind of on your
Yeah, I
experiences.
mean, right. Mental health for me is a huge thing. I might not necessarily have like education in the field and that kind of thing, but we don't really care about that. We care more about like the experience, and kind of just sharing, individual experiences so that people can learn from each other, like we usually do. So for me, I've experienced many things in my lifetime that have negatively impacted my mental health, as well as boosted my mental health. So I'm excited to talk about a lot of those things. Some things that helped me through, some things that pushed me under, and kind of work through all those things with you guys.
And I think one of the most important things that Leah and I discussed when I first approached Leah and we first kind of talked about how we wanted to build this show. One thing we spoke about was transparency. And I think that is what makes this show and makes our friendship so different is that we are transparent and we want to be transparent with our entire audience. Our struggles are not meant to incite pity or sympathy. Our struggles are meant to shed a light on what people go through and how you're not necessarily alone in going through that. So let's just get right into it then. Let's
Heck
figure out
yeah.
what's going on. Um, I know, Leah, you just came back, I think, last week from a break, right? You
Yes.
kind of just
Yeah,
took a
I think
little
it
bit of
was
a
probably
hiatus
yeah,
two
like
weeks
2
ago.
weeks ago now.
Yeah, I
I
think it was
think
two
just with
weeks ago.
everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. But still, yeah. So, a couple weeks ago, uh, the streaming world kind of took its toll on me. And so I felt it best to take a break. And what I mean by taking its toll on me is that um, really what it came down to is a lot of outside influences, a lot of other people, communities, kind of took their toll on me in a negative way. And that was really just due in part to like my desire to, be a part of those communities, to be a part of, a group of people who I thought were super awesome. And it turns out that like while there are super awesome people there, while there are super, great groups of people across the Twitch world, there are certain people that might not you might not mesh with, like Panda was saying. There are certain people that you just might not vibe with. But also there are people that might manipulate you, might emotionally drain you. And you got to be very careful of that. You have to really put it into perspective that maybe somebody that you idolize or somebody that you look up to in terms of streaming, um, they might not be who they seem to be, much like everybody on the internet. And so just a bunch of trickling things like that, as well as like my own ego, trying to get that in check, trying to figure out who I am as a streamer, who I am as a person, and relay that to the screen. All those things just compiling together to make a really upset and sad Leah.
Which we don't
And
like,
so,
which we don't
right,
like, you know,
right,
and I think one thing, just to jump in really quick,
absolutely.
I think one thing also that drew Leah and I together to begin with, like I said, was not just the transparency in our struggles, but the transparency as us as streamers. When we go live, that's us. That it's not a persona, it's not a media personality. That's Leah in front of the camera and that's Panda in front of the camera. It's not it's not
Exactly.
it's not an act. That's us, for better or worse. And that's
Right.
why I'm so grateful for the community, because that means they like me for me. They don't like me when I'm streaming for 2 hours. And then it's like, oh, that guy's weird. It's like, that's me and that's you.
Yeah.
And I just going back to you saying the people manipulating and there are good people, I want to be very clear too. 95% of the people that I've met so far are salt of the earth people. Like, they would
Correct.
give you their shirt off their back in the
Correct.
middle of a nor'easter to make sure you're warm. And that's just the type of people that we've encountered. And we're so grateful for that, to be
Oh, yeah.
absolutely clear. But as Leah said, there always, no matter what industry, what career path, what job, it doesn't matter. There's going to be those people that bring you down. And those people I genuinely just feel sorry for.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no ill will, there's no
Nope.
hatred. It's just, if this makes you feel good, I just feel bad for you. The
Yeah.
fact that you need to do that to feel better about yourself speaks about you more so than me. And I think that's just the character showing of certain people. And it's
Absolutely.
unfortunate, it is unfortunate. However, removing that toxicity from your life is just imperative. And I think that the fact that you understood that you had to do that is incredible. You know what I mean? And had to
Oh,
um,
yeah.
put Leah first. You know what I mean?
Right.
Make sure that you're happy, make sure you're comfortable, and then you know that you can go back to streaming, because we're both kind of the same mindset as well, where we don't stream if we're not 100%.
Oh,
If
no,
we don't,
yeah.
if we just don't, if we're not there, we want to put on the best show that we can for people to come in and just have fun. But if we're not feeling it, then we're not feeling it. I mean,
Right.
there's nothing
It's not
wrong with
gonna
that.
happen.
But there's nothing wrong with that either. And it just goes back also to the stigma of mental health too. I think that unfortunately there still is a lot of misunderstanding regarding mental health. I think that there have been great strides taken, but I also think that the streaming community is one of the most understanding communities in regards to these supposed stigmas about a multitude of different things. But one of them being mental health. I mean, y- you could take a mental health day and you feel great. You take a mental health day from your 9 to 5 and you feel like crap.
Right.
Like hello.
Well, and that's just because like in the 9 to 5 world, in the corporate world, in whatever field you're in, taking a break is like you're slacking, you know?
Mhm.
And it still feels just with life, and experience, it still feels like that, at least for me, when I go to take a break from streaming, because it's ingrained in my head. Streaming is something I, take pride in. It's something I love to do. But then when I go to take a break or something, that ingrained feeling comes, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm slacking. I should be working on this. I should be doing this for my stream. But then the whole community, everybody there is like, take your day, go relax, go do your thing. And that's exactly like you said. That's where it's different than everywhere else. And people do respect the days off. People do respect you caring for yourself, because you caring for yourself will show, and people will also try to care for
I-
them
I'd e-
themselves.
I'd even take it a step further. They not only respect it, but they support it. Like they'll actually
Absolutely.
check up on you after, and it's like, "Are
Yeah.
you good?" And it's like, "I don't deserve you,
Right.
thank you."
Right. Right, because it
But
doesn't happen
like you
often.
take a day off from work, and they're like, "Oh, you missed all this. Take care
Yeah.
of it now." It's like,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah. Right.
I
Right.
just want to
Exactly.
like live and do my life, but
Yeah.
it is unfortunate that that's how it is. But what's important to understand too is that content creation is not easy. And I know we spoke about anybody can be a content creator, and I do believe that. I mean, anybody can pick up their phone and make a TikTok. Anybody can pick up their phone and make an Instagram video, go live, whatever the case may be. But not everybody can make it as a career. And that's the big distinction and the line that I draw in the sand. You have to have a certain drive because it does become a job. It is a job. I mean, you don't just get paid to play video games. I mean, you have to network your ass off 24/7. You have to forge relationships, and you have to make a show that people want to stay in. You stream for 2 hours, you got to captivate people for 2 hours while doing something else. That's not a small feat. It's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And you Leah, you recently made a complete rebrand, almost entirely with your channel. You
Sure
know,
did.
for those that don't know, Leah would be 360 no scoping between the legs with the Car 98 on Warzone, right? And now all of a sudden she's Rob Ross. So I'm trying to find out, like, is she gonna 360 paintbrush somebody? Like, what's
Ooh,
going on here?
that's a good idea. I can
Blind,
add that in.
yeah, blindfold
Oh,
painting or something, no
yeah.
scoping with the paintbrush. But
Yeah.
the full rebrand is incredible for you, and I think that has to do also with coming back from your break and kind of finding yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, and really, it's the sense of community, once again, reverting back to that, and everybody supporting me with those ideas, and what I'm gonna do with them and stuff. But to kind of backtrack just a little bit in what you said with it's a job and stuff. Um, that's actually kind of why I went on a break. Alternatively, is that I actually, while this is something that I would love to have as a career, like main form of income, that kind of thing, um, I don't really want it to be a job for me. And I don't want to necessarily, like, I will be putting work in, right?
You don't want that
But
feeling. You don't want
I
that
don't
vibe.
I
I
don't want
get it.
that, like, that vibe. Exactly.
Mhm.
I want it to be, something that I can casually stroll into this little corner of mine, sit in my chair, feel relaxed, and press the go live button and just hang out with friends and keep it very simple. Sometimes, I think some people take it too seriously.
Mhm.
Um, there is a point. Like, everybody should take it to their own extent. If you want to take it seriously, if you want to, really work hard at it, make everything perfect, then you do that, because that's something that you should do, if you believe that. I personally, for my mental well-being, I have to take it very lightly. If I
Hmm.
take it too seriously, I start to become overwhelmed. I start to overthink a ton, become insecure with myself. So I definitely, for me, while this is something that I definitely would go full bore with, and would love to take it to the absolute level, I need for myself to keep it very light, very, very fun, very not serious, So I think it's really just a balance for each individual content creator to find whether they need to take it to the maximum seriousness and really grind it out, or keep it as fun and as loving as you can, because some people do take it way too seriously, like
Hmm.
so seriously that they, like we were talking about, manipulate. They put people down to better themselves in the rankings, for their viewers, for their whatever.
Hmm.
And to me, that's too much. I don't think that anybody should be working themselves to such a tizzy that they need to put the other people down.
And
Absolutely.
I agree 100%. I mean, I think it also comes down to personal work styles. For
Yeah, for sure.
example, is that me as a person, I mean, I need to be busy in whatever I'm doing, or else I don't do it. It's just
Right.
how my head works. It's like, all right, you gotta do this. If you don't do it now, it's just not gonna get done. So I was like, okay, we'll make it happen, and one thing I definitely can agree on. And for any new aspiring streamers that are thinking about getting into the world, this is probably the best advice that we can give you. And that is, you should never, ever, ever put down other streamers or other viewers to better your stream. If you do
Absolutely.
that, do not stream. Point blank period. Don't do it.
Mhm.
Don't click go live. Don't do anything. It's not cool. And everything comes out eventually. We are in 2020. Nothing is safe. Nothing is a secret anymore. You're being tracked left and right by the higher powers. I mean, it's crazy what
Right.
technology can do, but nothing is safe. So when you think you send a text message saying, "Oh, viewer 125, I mean, he sucks, but he keeps on subbing to me." That's going to come out, and it's not cool. Just the best advice I can give, and Leah, I mean, if you agree, please feel free to say, is be as transparent and be as genuine as possible, and just be yourself. And I guarantee you that if you're yourself, there's going to be somebody out there that will like to watch your show. And that's just what it comes down
Yeah.
to. I think I think where people make the mistake is the one thing that I hate, and I is the pity views. Is when
Oh God.
somebody will tweet out, I only had 100 viewers today, and it's crazy because I'm doing this, and this for you guys, and I want you to watch so I can give it away, but I can't do it until I hit 150 average. And it's like, then you're not doing it for the people, you're doing it for your numbers. You
Correct.
quite literally just admitted that. I don't understand what you're trying to say. And giveaways are fine. I get it. They're cool, they're fun, they're engaging, you know? But when you do them for the wrong reasons, that's not okay. And that's where you got to draw the line. That's where you got
Yep.
to draw the line on
Yep.
that. And unfortunately, that's considered manipulation as far as I'm concerned, in
Oh
regards
yeah.
to all pity views and all that stuff. And that was something that rocked the Twitter and Twitch world somewhat recently, with other streamers trying to pull that crap. Um, and it is what it is. You got to just sit there and go, if that's what makes you prosper, then power to you.
Right. And you really just have to wade through the waters, as carefully as you can, while still keeping an open mind and an open heart. And what that really just means is be on the lookout for people who do only care about numbers, because that's not where you really want to lie. Even if this is your dream job, this is your only source of income, this is all you're doing right now, and your serious level is 150, like, even then, at the end of the day, you should not be necessarily pushing so hard for your numbers. It should still be about community
Mm-hmm.
and building everybody up in your community, not just yourself. That is the biggest thing for me being connected to Twitch, is that
The friends.
there are real communities. I mean, like, actual groups of people. It feels like you're walking through a neighborhood and people are sitting on their front porches and you're walking by and you're waving to them. That is the most beautiful thing. It's my favorite part about Twitch. It's something that I think everybody enjoys, and something that definitely can easily be manipulated and used upon. And if that is your thing, if your only goal is to get viewers who are blindly worshiping at your feet, you should probably do
Not
something
sh-
else. Go start a
go into
religion.
politics.
Yeah, go into politics.
You're perfect for that,
Yes,
then. Start a cult.
right, because that's what it's about. It's about meeting people. It's about connecting in various different ways, whether it be gaming or art or whatever. And I just want the most people to be a part of that,
And,
as
and I,
opposed to the opposite way.
right, and I agree 100%. And kind of going back to the community thing, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, the community is what makes you a successful streamer, you know? And when I say makes you a successful streamer, what's important to understand is, what does success mean to you? And that is something that is
Right.
so unique to each person. You know, there's some people that I know personally that I've met through streaming, where success to them is partner, and then have a mass following and have thousands and thousands of viewers and all that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hell, I'd love it. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. But then there's other people who truly, if they have four people watching them and they become genuine friends with those four people, that they're like the happiest bunch of people in the world. And I think that
Right.
you and I, Leah, are kind of like right smack dab in the middle. You know, like it's like, yeah, it'd be great to have thousands of people, but it would also be really cool to have just dope ass people watching us. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
And I think
100%.
that's it. And my favorite thing when I go live is when people pop in and I actually know their names. Like, they actually come in, and like when you join my stream, I'm like, Leah's here. This is awesome, and we'll catch up
Yeah.
in stream. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff is just, it really is wholesome. It's like the best word I can to describe it. And as you said, it's like walking down the street and, saying hi to your neighbors and petting their dogs and everything like that. Like, it's wholesome as shit. And it's really a fantastic thing. But you can't let the poisonous people, the cancerous people, the toxic people distract you from that. There's always going to be those people. And that kind of ties into the mental health aspect that we talked about, because it's very easy for your mental health to get hit hard when you're having such a good streak of streams, and it's just really nice, it's really wholesome, and then all of a sudden you find out that they're talking shit about you in a group chat or something like that, or they're trying to manipulate you, or they're saying, oh, stream at this time so you could rate out to me, and that kind of stuff like that. And that hurts, especially when it's somebody that you considered a friend. And
Mhm.
I think what's important to understand is that when that happens, it does not make you weak to not react, but simply step back. That's the
Right.
right way to
Yeah.
do it, in my
Mhm.
opinion. Because there's other people like, oh, you should have, lashed out, you should have gotten back at them or whatever, and it's just like, why? Who cares?
Right.
I'm just gonna
Right.
go have a beer and relax.
Yeah.
you know?
And I mean, certain points when, like, if you talk bad about my friends, I'm gonna get my sword and my shield out and
Uh
I'm
huh.
gonna probably stab you. But, like, Alternatively, especially for me, it is always in my best interest to not think about it anymore, to let it fester, and I'll come back to it later, or just like streaming. Like, it was so overwhelming. So I'm like, you know what? I need to put this down. I need to walk away. I need to sort it out in my own head at some point down the road, and then I'll come back to it. Because it's not worth the workup for me. It's not worth the physical stress, the mental stress, and I don't need all that smoke.
That's exactly it. I mean, there's times and places to get all the smoke, you
Right.
know, and then there's times and places where it's just like I don't care, like I don't care about this anymore, and you just walk away, and that's okay, you know. And going back to the mental health, it's just sometimes you need to take a break, and there's nothing wrong with just feeling overwhelmed. Streaming is a really really demanding thing to do. It's not easy to be in front of a camera for 2 hours live and not make a mistake, and then get off and just feel like, you know, you just got to decompress. And
For
that's
sure.
okay. And that's okay to do. I mean, I had my break. I took last week off just to kind of get everything going. I mean, Leah and I were working really hard in getting the show ready, with the transitions and the overlays and all the setup behind the scenes. And I just wanted to focus solely on that and not worry about um, streaming and everything like that. But what's important to understand too is just you're not alone either, you know, and whatever struggle you're going through, it's natural. It's okay. There's always going to be people out there that are willing to listen. You know, you got two people right here that are willing to listen if you need
Oh
it,
yeah.
you know. Um, but I mean, I think that's pretty much covering everything that we wanted to this episode. Um, Stay tuned. So what we're gonna try to do, just so everybody knows, is that we're gonna try to put out an episode every week. Okay. So we're gonna be on YouTube, we're gonna be on Spotify, and we're gonna be on Apple Podcasts. All
All
right.
the things.
Because we're like that cool. We're just like, we're gonna be on everything. We're gonna be on everything. So feel free to check us out on everything like that. All of our links and bios and all that shit will be in the description down below. Feel free to check it out. Leah will be doing another dope ass painting. It may or may not be commissioned by Panda. It remains to be seen. She's fighting me on it, but
Always.
I want a Leah original, so I'm gonna get a Leah original. So whatever.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But so we're gonna make it happen, guys. But don't forget that this is the first episode of our complete rebrand. We are so excited to bring more content to everybody. Stay tuned throughout the week. We're gonna announce what our next episode is gonna be on. All of Leah's socials will be in the description as well. Yeah, I already know mine. So we'll see you guys next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
See you next week.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.